Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Coach Lucas here with Olivia, who's in his work office. Um, Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. I've got a lot of content coming up. This is a review of the West Indies versus Australia first Test match that Australia won by 159 runs. And Olivia, thank you for joining us today unexpectedly. Didn't know you were doing this, but you have
Yes,
joined us.
yes. Basically, it was a Sunday, so I thought I must join with you and have a discussion on a controversial test match which went in West
Mm.
Indies, and obviously West Indies could have won, but Australia obviously had the benefit of the umpires.
Mm. Yeah, it was a test match that West Indies probably should have won. Actually, not probably, they should have won. Full stop. There was quite a lot of bad decisions from the third umpire, especially on the second and third days. Um, it got to a point where Darren Sammy has been fined 15% of his match fee
15%.
for
15%.
50. So yeah, for saying the third umpire should have been removed. I probably agree with that. The match referee probably should have removed him on the second day because you do have a fourth umpire there. Fourth umpire there in case of emergency if
But
something goes
Lucas,
wrong.
but Lucas, sorry to interrupt you. You let me know one thing very clearly. Have you remember any kind of a test match? Because I clearly not remember any test matches which I've seen right from the 2005 itself. That the third umpire has made so many mistakes on a continuous basis. Do you remember?
Yeah, well, it's quite extraordinary that this happens in today's age because the third umpire is not out on the middle. He's in a box. He's in heating or he's in cooling. He's seeing 30 different replays. So how he gets so many wrong is absolutely insane. Now, from the first three that he did, it seemed to me that he was giving benefit of the doubt to the batsman, which is all
Yeah,
good. At least he was being
fair enough.
he was being
Fair enough.
consistent. Yeah.
Yes.
And then there was one with Roston Chase where he just threw that out the window. He gave the benefit of the doubt to the bowler. And then there was another one with Alex Carey where he gave the benefit of the doubt to the bowler. So he was picking and choosing where to give the 50-50s to. And I don't think that's acceptable. If
But
you're not sure,
but Lucas, that's not the first time that but this is not the first time that umpires had favored the Australian team. I hope you remember the 2007 or 8 Sydney Test matches. India once Anil Kumble was the captain of Indian team, and India did tour to the Australian. The famous Steve Buckner and Mark mentioned controversial Sydney Test match. You remember that most of the on-field umpire decision went in favor with the Australians. But I totally get it that it was an on-field call. But it was quite disheartening to see that third umpire was making such a silly mistake, such a basic error. Okay, um, because they had a lot of options to seeing a lot of replays, but they are making such a silly mistake. It was quite disheartening to see.
the two ones that really got me going was the Roston Chase one and the Alex Carey one. So with the Alex Carey one, Alex Carey caught the ball in his glove and he then used the ground to control the ball. Now, even before that was before he hit the ground, Alex Carey never had control of that ball anyway. It was wobbling in his glove, and then he's used that ball to hit the ground and stop it. So I don't know what the third umpire was looking for that one. The other one was the Roston Chase one. There was a little spike, just a little tiny spike before the bat hit the bat. The ball hit the bat, which indicated that it hit pad first. Sorry, hit pat first. So I hit a little spike on the bat, and then it hit the pad. Roston Chase knew he hit it because Roston Chase is a very shy, timid player. He doesn't get angry a lot. It takes a lot to upset him. He knew he hit that ball. He reviewed straight away. There's a little split screen. This is how you can tell something he hit this ball. There's a split screen of Patrick Cummins and Roston Chase. When the replay came up, Pat Cummins, put his head back and they're kind of like, that's a review they've got right. That was a successful review. Roston Chase was saying, yeah, I hit it. And then when they went to ball tracking, the look on Roston Chase's face said it all. He could not believe it went to ball tracking. Ian Bishop, the commentator, got a bit upset. Threw his toys out the pram. Saying that's a disgraceful decision. Carlos Brathwaite was commentating also. He was not happy with those decisions at all. It's a shame, really, because this was actually a good test match. This was a very even test match. And
Yeah,
unfortunately,
and
this is,
especially when Joseph is playing, Shamar Joseph playing is against Australia, he got
yeah.
fired up once again. But tell me, again, we'll continue the same decision about the technology. Is it a failure of a technology or is it a failure of a third umpire?
No, well, from what we saw, it was black and white. The decision should have been black and white. It's no doubt the failing of the third umpire. Um, you know, the first three was in favour of the batsman, and then he's gone backwards. So if you're going to be consistent, then rule in favour of the bat, which I think in general should be favour of the batsman. Now they got rid of the soft call decisions a year ago when it comes to that kind of stuff, the Alex Carey catch and whatnot. But the benefit of the bat, in my opinion, I'm a bowler. I used to be a bowler. Don't forget that. So I'm saying the benefit of that should be towards the batsman. And for some reason,
Yes,
he didn't stick by that.
this is the first time I've seen that the benefit of the doubt goes to the bowler. It was quite
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was
It's
quite
it,
strange at that point of time.
it's poor. It's very poor by the umpire. And the match referee should have removed him after the second day and got in the fourth umpire. That's what should have happened. Now, if that's what would have, if he would have done that, we would have thought, oh, okay, it's not a good look. But at the same time, we wouldn't have that absolute circus we had in the third day, on the third day, with all those
But
decisions.
I don't think it is allowed, right, to remove any kind of
Yeah,
umpire from ongoing test matches without
and,
having any kind of obviously medical issues or like that. Okay,
yes,
you
yeah.
can't remove any umpire just because he had given a poor decision on that given day.
Yes, that is actually correct. That's regarding also, the field, the umpires on the field, and the third umpire that's in the box. But like I said, it's just amazing that this third umpire, he's not out in the middle. He's watching on a TV. He's in the cooling. He's got his feet up. He's having a time of his life. He's not doing anything at all but watching replay. So I'm not sure what he looked at. Maybe he was getting different reviews, so different angles. ICC came out and say what we see in the replays during the DRS is what the umpire sees. So it's obviously not that. He was seeing exactly what we were seeing. But I think he's just had a difference of opinion, and it's really looked bad for West Indies. Because, like I said, this was a very good test match, very, very close test match. It's closer than 159 runs. But unfortunately, Groovy, this match will always be remembered by this controversy, which is pretty sad, especially in the Caribbean where test match cricket is dying. This was probably the worst result, the worst place to happen. All these decisions down in the Caribbean, because we know test match cricket is really struggling down here. And you have a close game like that, but it's just marred with controversy with third umpire. It's just not needed down this part of the world.
I do agree because if you look at the West Indies history, they are not interested in playing test matches. I think the earlier, I think Roston Chase was not even part of this test side, and suddenly he made a captain of this test side. So it's quite strange. And after that, this controversial test matches happens. The people in the Caribbean have lost their interest in playing test matches. That's the main thing, and their board is also not helping the player to grow in a structure and promote the test cricket. So that is the main reason, and I don't know what is happening with the West Indies cricket, but it is quite disheartening to see because players like Nicholas Puran, who was 29 years old and he just retired from the international cricket, it was quite shocking. Players are only interested in being in the West Indies, and I don't know what to say because if you see the test matches, I think Jason Holder was also earlier captain. He was removed. Then someone
Yeah,
else become captain. He was removed, and now Roston Chase. He was not even the part of this test side, and he has become the captain.
yeah. Well, remember that famous Bangladesh win where they chased down 350 plus against Bangladesh. They had a very young squad. They had a Kyle Myers. They had a De Silva as a keeper. They had Bonner as a middle order batsman. They had
And
these young
suddenly,
teams.
and just one more thing. I think Shai Hope also has been called up in the test match. He wasn't been part of the test side. He was playing only white ball format.
he was done. He was done with Test cricket. They dropped him. He was playing white ball cricket, and they got him. So basically, the red ball players they dropped, they've gone to white ball cricket, and then they've brought them back from white ball cricket. Um, so I was a little bit confused by that. I thought they weren't taking this series seriously. But the way they played in this Test match, probably Australia underestimated them. Didn't expect that.
Yep. Someone says hi, 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 guys. Do like and subscribe and support
Hello,
Lucas and the
hello,
channel.
Sweeku. Sweeku is one of our
And
subscribers, so we
yeah,
always
you
like
can
that.
ask the question. Yes, you can ask the question. We will share up the question with you, and we'll try our best to give the answer to you. So, yeah. So that was about the West Indies and the controversial issues. But tell me one thing about the Australian team also. Are they moving on from this old growing, whatever you can call it, the Steve Smith, like a Faja, like Labuschagne? Are they moving on from this kind of a player, or are they just giving up the contrast which is going on? And they are seeing the West Indies is an opportunity to the younger player, or will they again once the Ashes will start, they will again have their players like Labuschagne, Faja, and obviously Faja did played in this Test match. They will obviously back their regular players.
Yeah,
I think
first of all,
just
Sweeku,
one question. Just before that one, there's just one question. I think we're gonna take it. Is this a live or pre-recorded? It's live.
it's,
It's a
it's
live. Yeah.
live. We are live. You ask a question, we will answer it with our voice. It is live. Look, they've brought back Sam Constas, who we've all saw during the BGT against Bumrah. Amazing thing he made. Um, but for some reason they've dropped him. They've dropped him for the Sri Lankan series. They've dropped him for the World Test Championship. I don't understand that. That made no sense to me whatsoever. Um, they've got top order problems. They've got number three problems. Um, and we've seen without Steve Smith this Test match how vulnerable the top order actually is. From number 1 to 4, that they are very vulnerable without Steve Smith. The lower order, basically Travis Head, Bo Webster, bailed them out. With all due respect, if they don't make runs, we lose this Test match. We get embarrassed. Um, we we consistently complain about, well, who's going to match with Khawaja. Well, I think the question we should be need to ask is, should we drop Khawaja and find a second opener? We openers are kind of on the reserve stock for Australian cricket. We've got plenty of bowlers coming through, plenty of bowlers. Our bowling unit could get injured and we could easily replace every single one of them. But our openers is very fragile. We've got Marcus Harris. We've got Cameron Bancroft, who's been making a ton load of runs in the county this season. Same with Marcus Harris, but they've been tried hundreds of times. They've been brought back, haven't worked. Renshaw can't buy a run in the Sheffield Shield. He's out of consideration. We've got young players like Jack Clayton, Callaway from Victoria. Jack Clayton, for me, I think I would like to see him play in the Ashes. I really like to see him pair with Sam Constas.
Just one more question before you go ahead with the other player. Cameron Bancroft, which you recommended me, Bancroft, which has been making he has been making a lot of runs. But don't you think he has not been given a lot of opportunity because after the famous sandpaper gate, he had given an opportunity in the different England series. I think Australia did
Yes.
tour in the Ashes because I think he should be given the opportunity in the Australia once Australia playing in their home condition and then see where he is going right now.
Yeah, I remember, if you can remember, I did actually hit a live at Adelaide Oval, and Cameron Bancroft was actually playing in that test in that day night in that Sheffield Shield match. He actually looked good. He hit an 80 on from memory. So the problem with Bancroft is he's not making runs in the Sheffield Shield. He's susceptible to the leg side, and he's susceptible to LBWs, which was never a problem, especially the leg side. The amount of times he gets out leg side to the keeper, it's a bit strange for me. That's definitely a technique issue. Um, so he's been being pretty poor the last 2 years in the Shield. Now, has he had the chances that Harris has had, or Khawaja or Warner? Now, if you can remember, Warner was about to leave, about to retire. He made that 200 against South Africa in Melbourne. Bought him 6 months. He had an okay Ashes series. hit 250s, or better than last time when he was absolutely embarrassed by the board. And then that brought in time. So Bancroft has not had the chances, as you just mentioned, in this test side. But he's gone back to the county this season. He's scoring runs for fun in the county. He's scored a couple of hundreds already. But I think what Cameron Bancroft needs to do is to do that in the Sheffield Shield. There's before the Ashes series. There's four rounds of Sheffield Shield. 4 rounds. So if Bancroft can make a couple hundreds, he doesn't have to make 400s, but just a couple makes selection hard. Because if Khawaja is continually struggling like he is, I don't see them picking him. They want what Cricket Australia want, Gorby, is they want another opener.
I think Khawaja will retire after this Ashes, if I'm not wrong.
Well, he should have retired after the World Test Championship, in my opinion. Because if Khawaja's a weird one, because if you notice with him, he only plays one shot. He likes the short ball. He likes the bowler to bowl short, and he can hit the pull shot. Anything other than that, he's not scoring. He's not hitting anywhere else. He's just waiting for that one shot. World class bowlers like Bumrah, who exposed him badly in that BGT series, Rabada, who exposed him badly in that World Test Championship, they will not bowl short. They will not give you that option. And the West Indies, Shamir Joseph is a world class bowler. He will not bowl short to Khawaja. He will pitch it up, and Khawaja again nicking off. So there's definitely a problem with Khawaja's technique. I think he's.
You are not audible, Lucas. Yep, go ahead. Lucas? Lucas, are you audible right now? I think you have muted yourself. I'm not able to get your voice. Guys, is
now?
Lucas audible? Yeah. You're very much audible right now. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's a question here from Sweeku. How will the bowling options look after the trio and line? The bowling options is pretty good for Australia right now. Very good. You got Fergus O'Neill, who's taken a lot of. He's finished second in the Sheffield Shield season with most wickets. Just then, he's leading the county in the most wickets. He's a good red ball bowler. He's a seam bowler. Bowls 130, 135 Ks. Averaged, I think he took 30 wickets, an average of 20. So he's next in line. He'll be next in line. That's no doubt about that. You got Lance Morris, who's a right arm fast bowler. The bowls 145 plus, a bit like a Mitchell Starc replacement, but he bowls right arm. Mitchell Starc bowls left arm. So you've got Joel Parrish from WA, who's a swing bowler, who also has taken 30 wickets at an average of 20. So the bowling stocks right now for Australia are pretty good. If those players did injured, Corey Riccicelli, a young spinner from WA.
But tell me who's going to retire after this Ashes? Khawaja maybe, and after that, Smith will follow. Smith will gonna play 1 or 2 more years.
I think they want to get to England, 2027. So the next Ashes series is 2027, after this year. That's in England. You know, Nathan Lyon has made it clear he wants to get to that. I think ideally Khawaja. I don't see Khawaja after being at the end. So he's one. Khawaja's gone for me. Steve Smith. I think Steve Smith would want to play in England in that 2027 series. I think Stark, Hazelwood all want to play. Like I said, Lyon basically said, I want to be back. So that's a very strong indicator. So I think those 4 Cummins has still got a while to go, even after 2027. So don't worry about Cummins. He's still pretty young
But
compared to the other
not.
bowlers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. We're gonna play at
So
least 8 to 9 years more.
that's all fine if Stark, Hazelwood, and Lyon want to play until the England 2027 Ashes, including Steve Smith. But their form has to remain intact. If their form slips away, let's say if they have a horrible Ashes and they lose the Ashes, well, then they're pretty much Australia not going to pick him anymore. Same with Steve Smith. Steve Smith, this BGT series against India, that could have been Steve Smith's last series. He needed to make runs in that series, otherwise he would have been an awful pressure to retire, to step down. Before the series, there was thoughts of should he even retire? Should he even retire at the end of the series? So he had to make runs, and he did. My God, did he do that? And then he makes 500s in the space of 2 months. 3 against India and 2 in Sri Lanka. So yes, they will continue, but depending on form. If they retain the hard scheduled, Australia have got a very hard scheduled World Test Championship scheduled. They've got to go to South Africa, which is a bowling paradise. And then, as you know, Guruvi, they've got the Indian series in India, which is a 5-test series, the BGT in India. And that is a very tough. Australia haven't won this since 2004. So it's a very tough cycle, if they're not performing up until that time, then I don't see them playing anymore. They'll get forced to retire, like Jimmy Andersons, who got forced to step down. David Warner got forced to step down. That's what will happen.
Okay. So you want to add something more about this controversial test match, or should we wrap up?
Yeah, just Australia, they got lucky in this test match. I want to make that clear. If West Indies, they dropped numerous catches. That was really disappointing, as we saw in the World Test Championship.
It has been month of dropping catches.
Yeah. You know, in order to beat Australia, you must field excellent. You must be exceptional in the field. South Africa were very good in the field in the World Test Championship. But having said that, Australia have been pretty sloppy in the field the last couple of series. They were a bit sloppy against India. They were a bit sloppy again. They were sloppy in the World Test Championship, and they dropped a lot of catches this match. So they haven't got that right, in my opinion. They need to fix their fielding. Because West Indies, if they held their catches well, they could have easily won this test match. Shamir Joseph is world class. Their bowling is world class. Their biggest strength is their bowling. Jaden Sills
from Kemar Roach also.
Yeah. So their bowling, the Joseph twins, Seals, they are the real deal. They can bowl out any side. But their problem is their batting, and West Indies may have made a decision saying we're going to produce bowling paradises. We're going to keep low scoring. Almost worked. Didn't hold your catches. Don't hold your catches against Australia. You will not win.
Yes, as we say, catches win matches. So I think it's done for the day. We're gonna wrap this show. We'll keep this short, and we'll try to move on from first to second test match. We'll obviously do this again. Lucas, you want to close this?
Yeah, thank you. I'll just answer this question by Sweeku just quickly. Ben Dorhout, no, not Red Bull. He's far from Red Bull cricket. He's not picking up wickets domestically in the Shield, so he can't. There's better bowlers, as I mentioned before him. But thank you all for the questions. I do appreciate it. Please make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Your support really does help us making more content. And as you said, Guruvi, we've got more content coming up. We've got the Sri Lanka and Bangladesh series that's coming tomorrow. India and England, the test 2. That's 5 tests. So we've still got 4 more reviews. We've got 2 more reviews of the West Indies and Australia. So there's plenty of content coming to this channel. So stay subscribed. Sweeku's not happy with that.
Make sure to do like and subscribe.
Exactly. So, Guruvi, thank you for joining us today. Sweeku, yep, that's just the way it is. There are better bowlers. unfortunately. But anyway, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Stay with us. More content is coming, and we will see you in the next show. And goodbye for now.